Hey there everyone, it's Scurvy here again with another video. I didn't think I'd be pumping out another one today, but as I said in my update video that I'd be making some more Hearthstone content, aside from pack openings, and I figured that this was such an occasion. This is going to be arguably the biggest balance patch in modern Hearthstone's history, or, this year in Hearthstone. Um, So let's start off by reading this dev comment right here. The current power level of top decks after the launch of Murder at Castle Nathria is pretty close to the level that we'd like it to be. We're happy with decks like Imp Warlock and Control Shaman being powerful, but we're less happy with the power level of the weakest classes. So while we did a few touches to the top decks with the goal of reducing play against frustration, the primary goal of this patch was to elevate the classes that are struggling in the current meta. So, let's take a look at the cards that have been adjusted. Celestial Alignment. I was so excited when I first saw the leak of that, and I was just like, finally, fucking finally. So, the old version of it was set each player to 0 mana crystals, set the cost of all cards in hands and decks to 1. Its new effect is set your mana crystals to 0, set the cost of all cards in your hand and deck to 1. So already, this is going to be a lot more fair against the opponent, because the problem with Celestial Alignment, it wasn't the first alignment that was played. It was always the second one that managed to just completely brick your opponent and just allowed you to do just a bunch of this skeezy degenerate shit that people don't like Druid for. So this is just a good change for both Standard and Wild. This is what needed to happen for a long time. Should have been this way when it was first printed to alleviate the frustration of just a bunch of dumb bullshit happening to your opponent, and actually gives them a chance at a comeback. We'll also read the dev comment here. We hear you. Alignment has been a frustrating card to play against for a while now, and has remained that way after the release of Murder at Castle Nathria, even if it's not a balance outlier. This change is targeted at removing as much of that frustration as possible, while still retaining the primary effect for players who enjoy the big turns it can allow. The Ramp Druid, you mean. Anyways, next up is the Stag Spirit Wild Seed. Old effect, dormant for 3 turns. When this awakens, equip a 4/2 Great Bow. It's now a 3/2 Great Bow. So I'm alright with this change. I think it kind of makes sense that it's a 3/2 instead of a 4/2 weapon. I think it just means more comeback potential for like slower decks. So good change. I'm not gonna read the dev comment here. Snowfall Guardian. Old. 3 attack, 3 health. Battle Cry. Freeze all other minions. Gain +1/+1 for each frozen minion. Now, it is a 5 attack, 5 health. Battle Cry. Freeze all other minions. And I think we'll let the dev comment do the commentary for us. Control Shaman has been one of the most dominant decks since the expansion launch, as a big part of their power comes from their ability to repeatedly freeze enemy boards, while also pressuring their life totals. Thanks to Snowfall Guardian, we hope that by removing the pressure this card applies, it will be less difficult for players to navigate. So, yeah, it's going to feel a lot more fair to fight against. And, 6 mana 5/5, decent stats. You're basically playing Frost Nova, but with some stats, which is actually pretty nice. And also, Macaw won't be as much of a problem. That's kind of the main reason why people don't like Macaw, is because it's synergy with Snowfall Guardian. Next up is Vile Library. This is a card I fucking despise, and I'm glad it got nerfed. Although not in the way that I would have wanted it to, but I think the way that it is nerfed is it's fine, it's serviceable. Old, give a friendly minion +1/+1, repeat for each imp you control. New, give a minion +1/+1 for each imp you control. The reason why this change exists is because, with a click of a button, a minion could gain an insane amount of stats, which, whoo, not exactly the healthiest thing for the game. We'll read the dev comment here too. We're happy to see that Imp Warlock has been one of the top performing decks in this expansion, but a little bit too much of its power is coming from the burst damage this single card allows. We're lightly touching Vile Library because we don't want it to go away. We just want to bring the deck more in line with the other decks in the meta, which is fair. They could just nerf it to 3 mana if it's still a problem. Cobalt Illusionist. So this is just a simple nerf. Its effect remains the same. It's just a 5 cost. I'm not gonna read the dev comment here either. And I'll just summarize my thoughts on this. Thank fucking God. I hate going up against big Death Rattle Rogue. And now that it loses its synergy with sketchy information, I think the deck might finally be dead. I hope it's dead. I think it's better that way if it's dead, because right now, and the way that I see that this patch is going, it's about letting people make a comeback, and I think that's important in Hearthstone. And I hope for playtesting in the future, it's like people actually start to think like, hey, does this allow opponents to come back? Or is this card going to be a combo finisher? Like that stuff should, if you ask me, should be decided in early development, but that's besides the point. And then the above craftable cards as well as Spirit Poacher. I disenchanted all the Wild Seed stuff today. I have a shit ton of dust now, so I could craft it on like legendaries I need or want. Next, we have some buffs. So we have some buffs to the Demon Hunter relics, like Relic Vault is now 2 mana, Relic of Extinction is now 1 mana. And yeah, I agree with the dev comments here. I do think they should have more of a impact. And I think that this is a good way for them to do just that. Next up, we have Bibliomite. It's now 2 mana, 5 attack, 4 health. Because of its battle cry effect, I think it's fine that it's a 5 mana. No, not 5 mana. 2 mana, 5/4. I think it's only an attack increase, not a health increase, so it's fine. Magnifying Glaive. It's now 3 attack and 2 durability. I mean, I don't mind that aggro Demon Hunter's getting some touch-ups. I think Magnifying Glaive wasn't the right card to do that with, but I think there are other cards that they could have done that with better. Next we have Abyssal Depths. Out of all the Demon Hunter buffs, I think this one has to be my favorite, because now I could actually run Prince Renathal in my big Demon Hunter deck. Because I'm running 2 copies of Abyssal Depths, so that way I still get some value from the Vandar Stormpike. But basically, it just allows me to draw my Prince Renathal and my Vandar Stormpike. Battleworn Vanguard got a revert. It's now 2 mana, 2/2. Same with Irebound Brute. Got a revert, so it's 7 mana again. And I agree with the dev comment on this. Demon Hunter has been struggling, that's for sure. I mean, I usually beat Demon Hunters like 9 out of 10 times in Platinum, so goes to show how weak the the class is right now. Um, Next up, we have a paladin card. Well, a generated paladin card, the legendary invitation, generated by the countess. It's now 2 mana, so you could actually you could actually play, or you could countess. You get your invitation. You could actually play 2 of those invitations. So actually, they'll feel pretty nice. Next is the Silverhand Recruit stuff. So Stand Against the Darkness. It's now 4 mana. Warhorse Trainer. They actually, I'm surprised that they buffed Warhorse Trainer out of all the Silverhand Recruit cards. It's actually pretty cool now. It actually feels like, compared to literally the card from the set that this card comes from is probably one of the weakest sets of all time. And now it's out of all the cards in the set, I'd say it's probably the most powerful card in the Grand Tournament now. So if you are playing Silverhand Recruit, like, this is actually something that's going to be pretty good. Next we have Promotion, which gives a Silverhand Recruit 3/3 and Taunt. So that's a good buff right there. Whenever they have effects that give, like, your Silverhand Recruits, like, Taunt, like, that's pretty good. I think that's a good thing that Paladin has that. Next up, we have a buff, actually a buff slash adjustment for Edwin Defias Kingpin. It's now 3 across the board, which, I mean, that's fine. I don't think Edwin really needed a buff, but I mean, sure, we'll just see how it plays out. I think they want Miracle Rogue to have some semblance of I guess cohesion, and I think this will help that out. Sprint is now 5 mana. I don't know how to feel about this. Like, on one hand, I think it's nice for Rogue to have some cheaper card draw, but I do think that Sprint might be I think it might be a little too powerful of 5. We'll just have to wait and see. Patch has only been out for like a couple hours. Silverleaf Poison, that's fine. You can make it 1. It's not going to impact anything too much. It's just going to make Weapon Rogue a little bit better. Halkias. This one is actually buff I was kind of hoping for. So its old effect, Death Rattle, if you control a secret, store Halkias' soul inside of it. It resummons Halkias when triggered. Its new effect has Stealth, Death Rattle, store Halkias' soul inside of a friendly secret. It resummons Halkias when triggered. So, I'll actually read the dev comment here, because it talks about all the rogue changes. Card draw has traditionally been one of Rogue's strengths, but it doesn't feel like a strength in the current meta. The buffs to Edwin, Sprint, and Silverleaf Poison are all made with the intention of reinforcing card draw as a strength of the class. Miracle Rogue has not been overperforming in power, but we are aware it can win in frustrating ways, so we'll keep an eye on how it develops following these buffs. We also wanted to show a little love to the new secret package. We're starting with a buff to Halkias that makes him feel better to play, but we may revisit this package later if it needs some additional support. I hope Rogue gets a new secret in the mini set that is actually pretty good. Now we have some of the warrior stuff. So now, Sanguine Depths, I feel so weird saying that when I'm so used to talking about the dungeon of the same name. It now gives a minion +2 attack instead of +1. So that's nice, for the Enrage package of Warrior, I suppose, or Enrage Warrior in general. Not even just the package. Imbued Axe got a buff. So now it's actually something that could be kind of useful. And its infuse cost also got buffed to 2, down from 3. So it's actually a little easier for warriors to kind of get it off. Cruel Taskmaster actually got a buff, which I'm surprised about that. That's another card that I wasn't expecting to get buffed, but I suppose Blizzard said they want to improve the Enrage Warrior archetype down here. Next is a revert to the Tidal Revenant, so that's actually nice. I don't think it should have ever been nerfed. Shield Shatter. This is another one of those changes where I'm like, on one hand it's good, on another hand not so good. But I think for standard this is pretty nice. I think for wild it's gonna get annoying. And here are 2 cards that I did not expect to get buffed. Slam and Bash. Slam's now 1 mana. It's actually a good spell. It's actually a consistent and good spell now. And Bash is now 2 mana, which, great. We'll actually read this dev comment right here. It actually talks about the nerf to Control Warrior. We may have been a little overzealous when we were addressing Control Warrior in the last balance patch. We're correcting that here. We're also giving them a couple new tools in Slam and Bash, which might even make their way into non-Control Warrior lists. Then the rest is just like Battleground stuff. I was gonna go over the Battleground stuff, but I don't really care. I'm just glad that this patch is out, and I think it's gonna. I think I'm gonna be seeing a lot more warriors in my ranked games. So with that being said, I think I guess before I end this video right here, next video is gonna be a rather controversial one. What is the truth? That's gonna be talking about a whole lot of stuff here. Sorry. But with that being said, thanks for watching.